Morning. So I would say this, this has been kind of a tough week, just a couple of things that have transpired, but I feel like our players have done a great job of putting in the work, getting ready, focusing on Green Bay. It's been a good 2 days, and we got to finish it today. Questions?
Aaron mentioned yesterday that Jerry isn't playing this week. How do you see him being incorporated? I mentioned you're not going from 0 snaps to 70, so what kind of role do you see Jerry having this week?
Yeah, we'd like to get Jerry in the game for sure. He'll continue on special teams, and then, we'd like to work him some outside. Just see if we can bring him along here, and because every week he's gotten better and better, getting his legs under him, his conditioning, all those things. So, we see him working a little bit.
You said you'll be monitoring DeAndre Swift. Obviously, he didn't practice Wednesday, played yesterday. Where do you see him at, and what you expect him doing today as well?
Yeah, well, he's going to get out there and work today. Again, he's had off, been down 4 weeks until last week, and so, there's just getting him back into practice just because he does more things last week, and then he goes in the game. It's not a lot. We're trying to work him back here, and wherever he can go, we're going to let him go. But the plan is to get him in the game and see where he's at.
A couple of guys, midweek sort of injured guys, Josh Reynolds and Decker yesterday. What's the status of those guys?
Yeah, well, there again, I think today will tell a lot. We're going to keep Reynolds off his feet today and just see how he feels as the day goes, and then tomorrow wake up, see where he's at. Decker was out there at walkthrough, so, I think we'll be good to go there.
Guys back on defense, Deshaun, Mike Hughes, just one of those guys mean, and then Charles Harris too. Is he a guy that's trending toward playing Sunday, or is this still kind of wait and see mode?
Yeah, well, I think Charles is another guy. He got pretty good work yesterday. Woke up and there didn't seem to be a setback, and so get through practice today and just kind of gauge where he's at too. But certainly no setbacks. That's a positive. And then it is good to get Elliott and Hughes back. Those guys have, they look pretty healthy, and they've had a pretty good week of practice, so it'll be good to get them back and get them worked in as well.
Hughes, you played him outside a couple weeks ago before he got hurt. Is there something, does he maybe figure out that he's better out there, more comfortable out there than inside? I don't know. How do you?
We're keeping our options open as to who's playing where.
Just skill set wise, though, is there something he does better or something he fits in?
Skill wise, he can play the nickel and outside. He's got excellent movement skills.
If Josh can't go, that would be DJ, Josh, Quintez. You quickly are losing a lot of your catch radius and size. What challenges does that present when trying to construct a game plan without the size and length at that position?
Yeah, well, I think you just we'll tweak a couple of things. Certainly you like to have those. I mean, there's no secret, but you got to lean on your tight ends a little bit, and which we will have plenty going to the game, and then we still have Leaf, we got Saint, we'll see where Swift goes, and then we'll probably bring a guy or two up.
Dan, a couple of weeks ago, you stood in here and talked to us about how optimistic and encouraged you were about the great week of practice that your team had.
Mm-hmm.
Going through what they've been through this week with 2 significant changes, losing a coach and also a player to trade, do you kind of check in to see where they are, just as far as, I don't want to overstate it by their mental?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, absolutely. You want to make sure that, look, they always know my door's open too. If just because I talk about things just in a general statement in front of the team, and I try to be as transparent as I can be, but they know my door's open. If somebody one-on-one, you want to know a little more in depth as to what or why or any of that, they can always come talk to me. But I feel like I do feel like they're in a good place. I do. I feel like look, nobody likes to have to go through what you go through, but yet I think they've refocused and they've answered the bell this week.
Just to follow up, did anyone take advantage of that open door policy and speak to you this week?
No.
aspects of the Packers offense over the years has been their scramble drills. When plays break down, Rodgers keeps it alive and just seems to have always had really good chemistry with his receivers. And maybe that's the biggest change over there right now, is there a lot of turnover, a lot of young talent. How has he looked in those situations this year compared to last? Have you seen a drop off as they've kind of experienced some transition to younger guys?
Well, I mean, certainly he's that's where he's always been dangerous. To your point, yes. I think some of it is he's having to get the ball out a little bit sooner, even before he's able to scramble on some things, and that makes it that makes it a little more difficult to hold on to the ball and move. But I know they're getting some guys back, and that's something he's always been great at. So for us, it's going to be important, like any other week, especially with a guy who knows how to work the pocket, can break, contain. We have to discipline in our rush, pocket integrity, rush integrity. We have to push the pocket. You can't get greedy and start thinking inside that you're going to get one, man. Just do your job, push the pocket outside. We cannot rush by him. We have to close it in on him and, make him make a more difficult throw, So it's easy to say, it's hard to do, but it is, we just got to stay disciplined to it.
You guys have had some issues with rushing past quarterbacks this year. Gotten burned by some of the more mobile guys you face. How do you correct that? I mean, is that a technique thing? What is the point of emphasis there to prevent that?
Well, I think a lot of it is one of the reasons we went back to one-on-one work, because not only are you working, you're working to win, but yet, for example, some of the guys we have, as you're working your one-on-one, you're treating it just like that's Rodgers back there. And so here's your job, here's how you have to rush it and still win, So, for example, not just running upfield, I got to beat him, but I still have to close in on the pocket and contain and make him to where you're even with him, not beyond him. So that plays into it, and then just emphasizing it in practice again. Yesterday was our third down day, but just anytime something like that comes up, you're immediately on it. You're coaching it up. We're talking about this guy, what he can do, where he's dangerous, and so you put an emphasis,
Coach, on a lighter note, we had Peyton Manning here. He done the episode. I don't know if you saw Peyton's Places, where they explored the curse of Bobby Lane. I don't know if you saw it or
I did not. I have not seen it. No.
Just asking for you, like, you play here. Obviously, you're probably aware of it. What's your thoughts on that? Do you put any thought in that or changing that or anything?
No, I don't, man. I do not. I can't go there. I'm not going to allow myself to go there because I just feel like for me as a coach or for us as players, that's an excuse. And I think you create your own vibe, your own mojo, you create your own energy. And I think the more you buy into that and believe that, that's what you become. So, no, I'm not buying that.
Well, we had been a little bit about this yesterday, but I think you guys have scored like 48-0 in the second half of the last 3 games, something like that.
So, I'm sorry.
48-0 second half of the last 3 games. What's gone wrong, and more importantly, I guess, how do you fix? How do you make better halftime adjustments?
Yeah, it's turnovers and penalties. That to me is a starting point. Turnovers and penalties. So we have to hold on to the ball. We need more takeaways on defense, and man, we have to be laser focused on. We got to be laser focused on all the small things when it comes out. I mean, if we're going to do a hard count, like we should know inside and out when these things are coming, and because ultimately that's what's done us in. And then once that's happened, we have not been able to get our momentum back out of those, and so we can't be so fragile as to. You don't want them to happen. We can have them happen, but if they do, we have to find our way to get back out of it. And if it's offense has gotten in a lull, defense, we need something big. We need a takeaway. We need a huge sack. We need something. We need to get off the field on third down and get the momentum back. So. Or special teams. There again, you guys have heard me say it, but somebody's got to pick it up and step up and make something happen so that we get everything turned back the other way. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Okay.